the first week, you have a lot to do. You go to the funeral home, you plan the funeral, you write the obituary, decide what your loved one's going to wear, write the eulogy, give the eulogy, put her in the ground, and after that it's quiet. Because while everyone else's life goes on, yours just stops, and it's just silent. She was 25. She left behind a 5.5-year-old and an 11.5-month-old. So here I have this daughter who lost her life. She was a young mother. I've lost my daughter, I've lost my friend, and I've lost some other of my grandchildren. So all of a sudden I have this huge loss in this group of people that also need help, not just me. I remember the first meeting I came to being told, your life is not going back to normal. You'll get a new normal, but you won't have that normal. And that helped me because I like to fix things, and so I was trying to fix my life to go back to exactly the way it was on February 14th. And that's not the reality of what's going to happen. My life isn't going back to that way, but I'll find a new normal. Some of the things I do to incorporate my normal is know that it's okay to talk to my daughter or to talk about my daughter. It's okay to go to the cemetery once a week and lay flowers. That's not crazy. I don't have to just keep a straight face the whole time. If I want to break down and cry, that's part of my new normal. One of the tools that helps me is the art therapy that I do, which is a little A and a big T, because it's very therapeutic and it's not very good art, but it definitely helps me. The first painting that I did, we were given a piece of canvas and told to paint how we felt at that moment about our loved one. So I painted a heart that was broken. And as I looked on the piece of paper, I realized that's not really how I feel, because a broken heart can be mended. A piece of me was missing. I had a hole in my heart. It made me feel good, taking the small step of really acknowledging how I felt. So I decided to buy art supplies and paint and brushes and just start painting. It's just acrylic paint and some canvases and some brushes, and I just paint however I feel. And sometimes it's just the brush strokes going back and forth, something that helps bring my mind back to getting through that moment. I believe in this center here. Not everybody has to come to the Christi Center, but for those of us who want to be around other people, that need to be around other people, I think it's a great place if you've lost somebody very near and dear to you.
Since the start of my 42nd year in education, I started as an elementary teacher and then went into elementary counseling.
Welcome to my room. I'm going to let one person sit here.
I do teach everyone's class once a month, so I get to know their name and they get to come into this room and feel comfortable with the environment.
So I want us to look at a few feeling cards.
And that lays the groundwork, because kids are so in the moment that if they're having a difficult day or a tragedy has happened, they will share that with you if they feel comfortable. And many times parents will call and say that a child has lost a pet or a grandparent, and would I please talk to them. 3.5 years ago, sadly, there was a tragedy at Annie Pearl, where one of our pre-K teachers and her fiance were killed in a car accident on Easter Sunday. And this devastated my staff. The fiance, his mother and his sister both worked at Annie Pearl, so that just compounded the tragedy. And I called in the Christi Center, and they were just wonderful. They did tremendous support with the staff, helped us get through that tragedy. Loss is a part of our lives, and I watched how they were able to work with the adults here. And when those adults were able to honestly talk about how they were feeling, and I was able to transfer that to children. And it taught me simple little things like being present with that child during the tragedy, the importance of letting them know that it's okay to feel different feelings, and that one day you will get to a point where you will be stronger because of what you have gone through.
This room is a special room. It is
kind of my tribute to Gary. Gary was a hunter, a sportsman. He loved baseball. He gave the game of baseball to my sons. When Gary died, I lost a part of me. I didn't know who I was. I didn't even know what I liked. There were times when I didn't know if I'd make it out. I never wanted to commit suicide, but I didn't want to live. I knew I needed real help. I didn't feel right anywhere. For a year and a half, I was there on Monday night. Unless there was something that kept me from going, I was there because truly it was the only place that I felt right. And sometimes I realized I didn't have it as bad as others, and sometimes I realized that I said things and people learned from me, and sometimes I learned from them. This house was built by my great-grandfather in 1903. So we've had 6 generations live here, and there's only been, in the 112 years, only been 3 years that someone hasn't lived here. One of the things about grief is that I would get up and go to work, but I did nothing when I came home for a long time. As I've been working on this project, I had to come up and I worked harder and I did things, and I don't run up them. But I come up the stairs, and this is my bedroom, and as long as I can get up the stairs, this will be my bedroom. And it's just a beautiful view outside. I can see downtown Austin skyline from here, and I have my angel wings. Because I feel like somebody's been watching over me through all the things that have gone on in the last several years. When I decide to work on the house, I realize it's very much like grief, because each room has a purpose and a meaning. And as I worked the whole process, I realized that I was becoming more healed, and also that I had a purpose, and that my purpose was that this place was going to be something for other people to come and visit, and hopefully to be able to find peace here too. It's a sanctuary, and I need it. It's been a struggle, and it's been a long road, but I have joy again, and I am ready to share it with other people and help them, and I thank the Christi Center.